Hello everybody, my name is Wendy Keys Turnbull and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And this is my regular weekly Live with Wendy on Wednesdays. So let me just get myself set up on my MacBook so I can see what I'm doing. Make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing. There I am. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Thanks for joining me, Bonnie. Nice to meet you. Okay, so as I showed you earlier, I am going to be doing, I was making tomato sauce out of our garden, and I did not get a chance to get everything set up. So here we go. Let's try this again. All right. First of all, my host code for this month. It's good until 9/9, so September 9th, Monday, September 9th after my card class. This is the card we're going to be making tonight, and it's a front panel stepper fun fold. And as I said, I cased this from Linda Armstrong, who cased it from Tina's Ink. So let's get started here. And if you're watching, say hello. So I know to include you on my weekly, or on my prize patrol tomorrow. So this was made with the country, I don't remember what this is called. It is called Countryside Inn Designer Series paper, and somewhere on my table, or not, yeah, it's over there. The Grateful Blessings stamp set, which is a set, excuse my reach, which is a set from the annual catalog. Okay, so as I said, this is the card I'm going to be showing you how to make. So this is what I made this one with, and she did not decorate the outside of hers, Linda Armstrong, and I'm assuming Tina's Ink didn't either. I decided that I wanted to decorate the outside so there was something to look at. They didn't even put paper on it or anything, they just left it white. So I decided it needed to be decorated. So that's how it looks when it's standing upright. And that's how it looks from the front. I am too high. Hi, Collie. All right. Montana, very nice. I love your state, Bonnie. Been there a few times. My uncle used to live in Billings, so we used to go visit. Okay, so I am going to use... If I could only find everything I set up. Here it is, sorry. All right, I'm going to use the Garden Meadow, which is an online exclusive. And the only reason I'm using that is because I wanted something like this to use. And I'm going to be using the Perennial Lavender paper and a crumb case background, or card base. And then I'm using Crumb Cake, Gorgeous Grape, and I believe I have a Highland Heather under here. Yep. Nope, Lost Lagoon for my inks. Okay. So let's get started here. So the first thing, all I did was I took an 8.5 by 5.5 card base. Now I'm going to show you what we need to do with it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to score, you know what, I'm going to pull the cutting blade right off because a couple of times lately I have cut when I wanted to score. So I'm just going to make sure I don't give myself that opportunity. We are going to score this base at 2 1/8 inches from each end. So 2 1/8 inches here, flip it over, do 2 1/8 inches here. Okay. Hi, Collie. Hi, Julie. Hi, Shirley. Okay, so those are our first two. The next thing we have to do is turn the base on the 5.5 inch side. We're going to cut 1 1/8 inches between the two score lines on each side. So we're going to go 1 1/8 inch here, and we're going to put the blade to this. Don't mind if my head gets in the way. I just want to make sure. Oh, I've got to get my cutting blade now. Silly me. Okay. So I'm going to put it on this one instead. So we're going to cut from here to, and I'm going to have to put my head in to make sure I get it right. There we go. And then we're going to turn it around and we're going to go to 1 1/8 again. We're going to do the same thing going the other direction. We're going to cut from here to here. All right, so then we have these two cutting lines. And the next thing we're going to do is score 4¼ inches only on the top and bottom. So we're going to go 4¼ so that would be the middle of the card. Again, with the scoring, I'm going to take that right back off because we're not going to use it again. I don't want to come off. All right, just cheat. Okay, there we go. So we're going to score 1¼ and we're just going to score to the cut line. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to have to get my head right in your way to the cut line, and then we're going to go down to this cut line, and we're going to go there. Okay. So we have those. Now we need score lines here. So we're going to score 3/8 inch between the two cut lines and flip the card base and do it again. 3 1/8 inches. So 3 1/8 inches. And we're going to go from cut line to cut line, here to here. And then we're going to turn it around, do it a 3 1/8 inch again. And we're going to go from, okay, that's right, here to here. All right, that scared me for a minute. It didn't seem right. All right, that's all our scoring and cutting. Now, we're going to burnish the outer edges. Grab my, okay, and then on this side. All right. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the other pieces. Well, let me just show you this. So we know that these are going to fold like this. And we know that these are going to fold like this. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and burnish those, and then we'll start decorating. It's really a lot simpler than it looks. This is going to be hard to do. Just do it like this and like this. Okay, so there's our base. All right, now let's get to decorating. So we can lay it back flat, and we're going to take, these are for the front, these are for inside, these are for inside, and these are for our centerpiece. Okay, so I'm going to use glue just because I find it, first of all, it holds for a lot longer than tape does, but I just find it easier to use glue. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Tombow. Get that dry stuff off the top. Here we go. Okay. All right. Oh, good, Colleen. I'm glad you got your catalog today. Anybody else who's a customer of mine will have gotten their will get their catalogs within the next couple of days too. Okay. Make sure it's where I want it. Whoops. Got a little bit too much glue on that one. That's okay. So this particular instruction list says to cut these next pieces a little smaller than I would have cut them, but I already cut them out, so we're going to leave them the way they are. So it says to cut the DSP at let's see, 1 3/8 by 5 inches, and cut the background cardstock at 1 7/8 by 5 1/4 inches. So it's actually doing a 1/2 inch bigger instead of a 1/4 inch bigger from side to side, or 1/2 inch smaller for this, I should say. So it's going to be a little bit wider on the sides, and you'll see that that is how these are. See that there's a wider edge here than there is at the top and the bottom. Same with on the inside. So, but that's okay. I think if I was going to do it again, I would cut these wider. I would cut them at 1 5, not a little wider, 1 5/8. All right. I'm getting a little, I'm used to using the fine tip glue, so I'm getting a little overly rambunctious with my glue here. Probably need to tone it down a bit. Okay, and the other side. Oops. All right, on this side, like so. Okay, and then for these 4 points, we're going to use, this is Gorgeous Grape, by the way. We're going to use these and these. Ouch, and I'm going to go ahead and glue these onto here first before I put them onto there this time. Okay, same thing here. You've got a lot more showing, a lot more purple showing on the sides than on the top and bottom. Hi, Sherry. Okay. Two more. All right. So I want to see, let's see here. I'm going to put these two at the top, these two at the bottom. It's like the stems are more towards the bottom. So here we go. Just gonna, I could be using tape for this one. Okay, this is gonna go here. Like so. This one's gonna go down on the bottom. Here we go, whoops. And then this one goes back up on the top. All right, and this one goes on the bottom. I just realized that I forgot one piece, which I will get in a few minutes. Okay. So what I forgot is the white piece that goes on the top of this that we're going to put flowers on. And we're actually, I do have everything out here that I want. This out and this out. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on. I've been using up all of my mostly empty bottles of Tombow. So I have to keep shaking them and tapping them to get more to come out. And there's lots more in there. You just gotta make it wanna come out. All right, and then this one just has a scant little 16th of an inch around it. All right, and then this is going to fit in here perfectly. So I'm gonna put my glue on this part. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Goodness. That's a little much, but it'll do. Okay, and we're going to put this on here like so. And of course, we want it to kind of be framed like the other things are. All right, whoops. Quite a bit of glue on there. Okay, now we have the base. So let's get this part decorated. So I need a piece of white scrap here. I've got one big enough to use. Yes, I do. Okay, and it needs to be 3 1/4 by 4. So 3 1/4 this way. And I gotta put my blade back in. I lied. Okay, by 4. Perfect. Actually, I might be able to take a little bit off of that. Yep, there we go. Okay, left a little rough edge, but that's all right. Okay, and we are going to put this on. And I'm gonna get the marker for crumb cake. And for, yeah, I'm going to use markers. Let's see here. Crumb Cakes marker, Gorgeous Grapes marker, and Lost Lagoon marker. Okay, because this is this basket of flowers. So I'm going to make that look like the basket of flowers. If I can see, let me put a piece of something darker under there. That's better. Now I can see what it is. All right, so let me just, this marker doesn't feel very moist. I have a feeling this is not going to work. I don't feel like anything's coming off of that. Well, we'll see what happens. I may just end up doing it all in purple. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I am going to do it all in purple, and then I'm going to color it in with the markers. That's what I'm going to do. All right. I'm going to put that right in the middle there. Okay, that's good. My cleaner out here. Isn't it, Shirley? I know, it's a really unique fun fold. Not at all difficult, just kind of looks it. All right, let me just flat this a bit to make sure it's dry. All right, and let's see how this crumb cake marker is. Oh, it's good, actually. All right, so we've got our basket. And then we've got our leaves. Let's see, I probably should be using the, oh good, it is, it's a little nib end. I love these new ends of the Stampin' Right markers, much better than the old ends. So they work much better. While I'm coloring here, I'll just tell you, I watched a stamping online event, not put on by Stampin' Up, but put on by other people this weekend, and I saw the most interesting new tool. And it's a tool that Stampin' Up does not have yet, but I ordered it, and I think I will, next week when I do my live, even though it's not Stampin' Up, I'll use Stampin' Up tools with it and Stampin' Up papers and, sorry, I'm thinking, and all of that. But this particular tool will not be Stampin' Up, but I find it very fascinating. So make sure you watch next week while I show you that. Okay, so this needs something around the edges. This needs, an airplane just went buzzing by our house. This needs, it might have been my husband. I don't know if he's home or if he's out. I don't know. All right. Might have been him taking off, taking the dog for a ride, for a flight. All right. Okay. So, okay, good. So now, you know, I'm going to use tape for this one, just because that glue is almost empty, and I don't want to fight with it. And I just replaced the tape in this, so I know it's not going to run out. All right, there we go. And this is going right smack in the middle of here. Oops, it's too big. So, oh, because it's supposed to be 2.5 by 3, and I'm going to cut right through the tape. I am, but no, I'm not. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one of these, one of my pads here. There's one that's all marked up from using knives with it. This one. There's probably a couple that are all marked up from using knives with them, but that one's going to do. And I'm going to put this down here, and I'm going to tape it down. And I'm going to use a steel, all right, steel ruler. And what did I say I needed? I need 2.5 by 3. I'm going to have to cut a 1/2 inch off of each side on this piece. I'm going to get a pencil, 1/2 inch off each side. And then 2.5 here. And it's 3 1/4 right now. So I've got to, oh, that'll be interesting. I'm going to cut, all right, I'm going to cut, yeah, no, I'm going to cut 3/8 off there, and then 2.5. Also 3/8 off here. Who knew? Okay, so now I'm going to, oops, I've got to keep that. I'm going to use my new tool that I have yet to use, my X-Acto knife tool. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this right off. I should have marked it on both sides. Oh well, I think I could do it. All right, it's not exactly even, but it'll do. Here goes the tape. And up here again. So this is an add-on tool for the take your pick tool. I've had it for a little while. Okay, and now I just cut off the part that I marked. Leave it to me. Okay, so I think I said I had to cut a 1/2 inch off of each. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to cut here. Whoops, that's not good. I'm going to cut here. Okay. Wow, must be it got loosened up somehow. Okay, get it back in there. There we go. It's exactly what happened. Got loosened up. All right, so we will tighten that right back down. All right, here we go. Because we want a lot of the background to be showing on this one, the pretty purple background. I've got to do it this way to make sure I'm even. Okay. Okay. That's very uneven, but I think it's okay. So it's kind of messy, but it'll do. If I can get it untaped from here. All right, got to put some new tape on it. Here and here. There we go. Read twice, count once, or cut once. All right, so there we go. That's the inside. Okay, now onward. All right, so that's the inside. So let's decorate the outside now. So see, the other people left it like this. So it's just like this, and you opened up and you saw that. So I decided it needed to be decorated a little more. So I'm going to go ahead and put these two together. And you'll see that this is slightly different than that. And I made sure that I had butterflies on each of the sides, even though they're going to be covered. All right. Whoops. All of the perennial lavender paper is so pretty, fronts and backs. Okay. Same thing as with the inside. We're a little bit off here. Got a longer, less on the top and bottom than we do on the sides. That's okay. Kind of like it that way. Okay. All right, and that's very crooked. So Wendy original tonight, I guess. Yeah. I'm afraid. Oh, it's going to come off okay. All right, let's try that again. Let's try that again. Whoops. Let me turn it sideways so I can see what I'm doing on both sides. Okay. Better, not perfect, but it'll do. Get that off there. Okay. So these are going to go on the outside here. one. And then this one. Yeah, I know I'm taping it differently each time. Keeping things interesting for myself. Okay. All right, now I think I'm probably going to cut these down actually. Let me stamp the image that I want to put on it. I'm going to do that in, in crumb cake. Yeah, I'm going to do it in crumb cake. Okay. So I could actually put two of them on. I should have done it in Lost Lagoon. Oh well. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. All right, and then I'm going to take my markers here. I'm going to go ahead and color in my leaves. My stems. My grass, because I should have marked it. I should have done it in Lost Lagoon to begin with, so I will color up the grass. There we go. There. Do the same thing on the other one. Okay. And almost done. All right, and my flowers. And I feel like I should be using Highland Heather for this because this is so dark. I'm just gonna do them lightly. I'm not gonna color them all the way in. I'm just gonna put a little bit of color on them and leave it at that. There we go. Whoops, do the other ones too. Okay. And there we go. All right, I am going to cut these down because I'm just going to put them in the middle like this. And actually I have an idea. Let's see, is this too wide? Sorry, I'm going to do this off screen. It is too wide, but you know what? I'm going to do this. See if I can get it even. There, I like that. Give it a little shape. Same thing with this one. Let's get it even. There we go. There. That's nice. Okay, these can be popped on the front, so let's do that. Since they're on the front of the card. They did have bling on the inside of the card too, and I can do that. Let me just get these on first. Oops, almost put it upside down. All right. Sorry, guys. Okay. And the other one. Oops, why does this not want to stay on here? What the heck? There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And I want these to be across. Oh, I'll hit a butterfly though. Oh well, still leaves 2 other butterflies. Okay, I want them to be even with each other. All right. So we still have that butterfly and that butterfly. Perfect. Okay, let's get some bling. Watch this first. Okay. So what I'm going to do, let me see here first. Let me see what I've got in here for bling. Don't think I have any purple bling. No, but that's really pretty. We're going to use those because they go with the Lost Lagoon. This says January, April mini. I have a feeling they must have carried over, or I wouldn't still have them in my stash. So they must be either online or in our current mini catalog. So let's go with the little ones on the inside. We'll put one here. Whoops. Here. One. Yeah, let's put it over here. There we go. So they are going to push on the thing in an envelope, push on the inside of the card, but I don't really think it matters that much. On the outside, let's use a couple of big ones. Let's go one, now let's go up here. And we'll go, so we have 3 in there, so this will be 5. I like to keep it uneven. I like to keep it odd numbers, so I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so there you have it. A front panel stepper fun card. And that. So let me show you this one and this one. So you'll notice I use, so what these are the basic rhinestones that I colored using the blends. Don't use the Stampin' Right markers because they will rub right off. Use the blends. And color and then I just used them uncolored on here to be as little buds, little flower buds. So there you have it. That's what it looks like. Well, let's see. That's what it looks like when it's closed. That's what it looks like when it's opened. That's what it looks like from the top. Same with this one. See, this one fit better. I have a feeling I made this too small because it should be covering both of those. Oh, well, still looks nice. So there you go. And then you can just write a little note in here, or you can write a little note on one of the side panels, or you could write it on the back if you wanted to. But there you have it. That's what I have for you today. Like I said, next week I'm going to be showing you what this is for. So make sure that you catch it next Wednesday. It's really interesting. I'm going to play around with it for a week before I show it to you. So just stay tuned. And if I have 10 people leave comments tonight, I will be pulling a prize patrol tomorrow. I didn't pull one for last week because I didn't really do anything other than show you my stash. So I will be pulling for this tomorrow, and I will be pulling every week thereafter, except weeks that I don't really do anything. So, okay. Thanks for watching. And also make sure you check on the online exclusives. If you go online and you go to my my page of Stampin'Up.com, and if you don't have my page link, then just search for my name, Wendy Keys Turnbull, and under Shop Products, so under Menu, Shop Products, Online Exclusives. They add to that constantly, and there's some really neat things in there. So thank you so much for watching tonight, guys. I will see you all next week, and I'll draw a name tomorrow if I have enough. Bye-bye. Happy stamping.